decimation, and I also did remeshing, which is pretty nice. It's a nice way to be able to, well, as the name says, remesh the object and to get generally nice, clean geometry on it. Now, the remeshing I did in the last video was using the remesh modifier off the modifiers menu. So it's found right here. However, and I did it on this set of ventricles. I'm going to do it on a larger object that has more vertices, and we'll see how this goes. However, instead of using the modifier, I am going to go down to the data properties, the object data properties menu. And down here, there is a remesh option as well. Now I'm simply going to leave it on quad, and I'm going to be fairly aggressive and go with a slightly larger number. Again, voxels basically are the equivalent of a three-dimensional pixel. That sort of takes up a set amount of space. And the less space it takes up, the smaller that voxel is, the more vertices are required to cover that space, and vice versa. So the larger that voxel is, the more vertices or the less vertices that are required. So I've got a million plus vertices in this head. I want that to be a smaller number and yet still try to maintain some of this detail. So I'm going to change the voxel size to something on the order of 1.7. And once I've done that, I will go down and I will select voxel remesh, and we'll wait and see what happens. Now, sometimes this can take a little while. In this case, it did not. It took the vertex count to 117,636, which for the moment I think I might go with. Just want to note, though, that remeshing can lead to complications. There's potentially a lot of processing going on when you remesh objects. And if you get too aggressive, or maybe you do it and then try to scale it back or undo it or redo it or things like that, you can definitely get your computer hung up on the processing that happens. So just word of warning. And for that reason, actually, when I'm remeshing, I actually prefer to use Blender Python and do it via script. And that way I have a little more, I have at least a feeling of more precision as to what I'm doing. So before I wrap this up, I'm going to kind of take a look at what I have. And I'm going to just push tab to look at the geometry. That's pretty nice. Nice and consistent. I'm going to tab out and look at the object itself. Now I do see that I'm starting to get things are a little funky where I'm starting to get some detail there. So I don't know that I want to go more aggressively than I already have gone. As far as that goes, I think maybe I'll just go up to object and I will shade smooth. And that helps a fair amount. It's still not perfect, but I will go with this because I have maintained most of the detail that I would like and still have significant